What up, fantasy football people? We are back. Start 'em and sit 'ems for week 3. It's coming in hot. We got running backs, which has been depleted so far, and we're only 3 weeks in. Um, if you've been hurt by the injury bug, which a lot of us have, you were probably wondering who outside of the big names to start. I think we can all agree if you have McCaffrey, Bijan, Pollard, those guys are must
Yeah,
starts. Jameer Gibbs kind of flows into that with David Montgomery out.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um, you have injuries, so Barkley's out. Austin Eckler's probably gonna maybe be out. They don't know yet for sure.
Yeah, they said there's no timetable on his injury, which means you can probably expect him to be out for a few more weeks.
Yeah, Derrick Henry popped up on the thing saying that his toe was messing with him,
Yeah.
so
What about Aaron Jones?
he is
Aaron
still
Jones, I have no update on him other than he was doing light practice,
yeah. So they're
That's not
trying to
bad.
get back.
but it's a hamstring issue. So we've seen what hamstring issues do.
Yeah. We can get started into one of the newer ones, Kyrene Williams for the Rams in Cincinnati.
I don't like him. I think he's overrated. Like his numbers aren't great, and all his touchdowns or three of them came from passing. Like I just don't really like the guy.
I mean, in PPR, he's loved right now. He's an 89 plus 27% of Yahoo rosters. I do feel that it's like when you hype up a restaurant and you're like, man, I'm gonna go here, and you go there and it's like it's all right. It's not what you thought it was. And I feel like at some point he's gonna simmer down drastically.
Oh, he's one of those guys where he has a couple bad weeks or mid ass weeks where no touchdowns or nothing, then people forget about him. Like by week 10, we might not say his name.
Uh, what about Josh Jacobs against Pittsburgh?
He can't play no worse. You had -2 yards last week. But that Pittsburgh defense looked good the other day. But I'll say this: they gave up a lot of the yards to Jerome Ford. They gave up a shit ton of yards to Chubb. So I would play him. Be honest with you.
I mean, I think you kind of have to. You probably drafted him pretty high, so
I mean, at this point, if we're throwing out freaking what's his name, the receiver that everybody's hating on right now,
Who?
uh, Jamar Chase. Then I mean,
Uh,
I don't care what you drafted at this point. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
James Cook
Mm.
going up against Washington. Another, I wouldn't say tough defense, but they're not scrubs either.
no,
He's
their D line is just good. They can stop the run, I think. So I'm not playing. I don't like James Cook. I
I
really
don't
don't.
I don't like him either, but he surprised me last week. Not enough for me to want to start him, but if it's my only option, or he's my only option at number 2, then I kind of have to play him, I guess.
Yeah, because I think like seeing Latavius Murray get the touchdown vulture, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, dude, like, all right, this is gonna be a start of something. And they ran 3 running backs, which was I understand in football.
They're literally looking for anybody to do something. Is what they're doing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, a sup a surprise for the year, James Conner for Arizona, but he's going up against Dallas.
Uh, I think he could still probably get you a few points off of pass catching, but it's not going to be a lot.
I was gonna say I don't see a big day coming.
Yeah.
He'd be a good second running back maybe, but if he's the best you got, you're kind of in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like Mixon, Ramondre, those are guys that you kind of have to play at this point.
I would, and I wasn't high on Javante Williams
Yeah,
going into the season, but they essentially don't run P Ryan anymore. He just catches the ball.
yeah.
Like, he just run routes. He don't. So I think that if you can get Javante right now when he's kind of cheap, I would entertain that idea.
Yeah, I was trying to trade for him today. I just think his ACL injury is probably the worst thing for him. But as long as he can stay healthy, he's going to be solid.
You were correct, but I don't think Sean Payton gives a fuck. Like, get your ass out there and run.
I
If you
understand
take
that. I understand that. But if you're
Mhm.
trying to get him right now and he does get hurt, then you're right back at square one.
I think with the running backs, everybody's on high alert with
Yeah.
with it. Uh, Najee Harris, a guy that a lot of
Oh,
people
Look. I had to keep Najee in my league for my keeper, and I'm very upset about it. I want Najee off of all of my teams. I don't want to play him at all. I would much rather pick up Jalen Warren.
I'll put these two together: Kenneth Walker and DeAndre Swift. Kenneth Walker's going against Carolina. Swift's going against Tampa Bay. Both rain games, it seems like, as of now.
I
don't know if I could play Swift.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit Swift this week.
I mean, he had a monster
Kenneth
game.
Kenneth Walker's a close second.
I want to play Kenneth Walker because I like Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
And I like how Seattle does that shit. But it might be recency bias, and we just watched the Panthers, but they didn't really let the Saints run the ball.
No, not at all.
Google and them boys they ain't about that shit. So I might sit Kenneth Walker. But if you got him, like if he's one of the top two you just got to trust it, you know?
Yeah.
Gotta roll with it. This one I know Zach doesn't like. Dameon Pierce.
Yeah. Not this week.
Against Jacksonville. He'll get his when that O-line comes back, maybe.
Yeah, you're in about halfway through this. He'll finish the season strong.
If you can get him cheap, go trade for him, I guess. But don't give up.
It's just a bad O-line against a good defensive line and linebackers is not a good week. Not a good week for
him. Alexander Madison fans.
Ooh.
Should you be worried that Cam Akers is getting traded over there?
Probably.
Cam Akers owners are happy. I kind of feel like it's a double-edged sword for both owners because they both kind of are trash.
It's like a blind person and a deaf person trying to talk to each other, like communicate. It's like you just got a bad player over there. You're not going to do any better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, Alexander Madison.
I would be. I look at the schedule, that Bears-Chiefs game. I don't know if I would want to play any running back in that game. Definitely not Khalil Herbert because he kind of sucks. So I know the Chiefs could shut him down. But something about them Bears linebackers been doing their job, and I don't know if Pacheco got 100 yards in him.
Pacheco's been kind of on the downward a bit this year.
I don't feel that way. I feel that they just don't use him in the second half of the game because they're trying to fucking score.
I meant more like production-wise, like they're not utilizing him as much as like I guess because what we saw at the end of the year was like, damn, this dude's gonna be legit.
Yeah,
and it's kind of just a small sample right now of it.
Because it was a couple drives in that Detroit game, and I was like, all right, here comes Pacheco. Let's do this. Let's do it. And then it's like, where the fuck's Pacheco?
How do y'all feel about Breece Hall this week? Do a coin flip and just hope.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Yeah. It's the same kind of thing. If that's your number one,
but that's the thing. If he's my number one, I want to play you, but I don't know how many carries you're gonna get.
Yeah,
4. No, I'll give him.
Might. Last week I think he had 6.
He had 4. He put it on Twitter. He's like, he put 4 little footballs. He was mad.
Another one I would not play this week. I would not play Rashad White against the Eagles. I mean,
do you play Mixon or did
Mixon against who they play? The Rams?
Yes.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because I think he would do good, but I'm going to be honest. I think that team's so desperate to get their passing game going that they might take that opportunity to air it out.
Yeah.
And that's just my feeling. I don't know that that's true, but I feel that way.
Is Brian Robinson, even though he's going against
always play Brian Robinson. He's like the Puka right now of running backs. It's like you got lightning in a bottle, just ride that shit.
Yep.
It's kind of funny. If you have both of those guys, you're probably like so happy right now. Miles Sanders of Carolina. Looks like a rainy game against Seattle so far.
I think he's one bad game away from getting his job taken.
Yep. I was going to say, I think I'd much rather play Chuba Hubbard.
I mean, Hubbard played in the 2-minute offense for him. I get it. Miles was hurt, but still, like, you look good. They knew how to use you. You basically won my fantasy league this week for him in the SOG. So I think Chuba Hubbard's better. So I'm not playing Sanders because I think the team is just like they're D'Amico Ryans the shit out of that. It's up for competition.
Like, nah, pass. A surprising one that was added this week, Zach Moss. He was added by 21% of Yahoo leagues.
We murdered the Texans last week, and I think he deserves. If I had him on my team, I would probably play him. Well, not against the Ravens, but I get why people would want to pick him up.
Yeah. It's like I feel like you hold him because you don't know what's going on with Jonathan Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I can play him against the Ravens because the Ravens defense is legit. Like, trying to go through this list. Is there
Another man, I hate saying this being a Texans fan, but one player I think is just going to eat. He might be the best running back this week. Travis Etienne.
Yeah. Yeah, the defense is not stellar. Are you putting Jalen Warren in if at a flex capability if you need to?
I am.
Like I said, I would much rather play him over Najee.
Yeah. And if
dude, they ran the same play for him the other day, I told you, and Najee got -1 yards, and Jalen Warren got 11.
Yeah. I guess my last one. I mean, there's the guys that I didn't say like Mostert. I feel like you got to start after that monster game.
Mm-hmm. There's just too many guys who you're not gonna Ramondre's gonna play. Bijan's gonna play.
Yeah.
You're still gonna play Pierce.
A guy that I'm looking at right now is Gus Edwards. Are you playing him even though he did a decent last week?
I like Gus, but everybody keeps talking about Justice Hill.
Justice Hill got hurt. He might not play.
Yeah,
but I would play Gus. I like Gus Edwards. He can fucking run. Straight up. Who's playing for the Giants? Who's the backup over there?
Matt Breida.
Matt Breida, yeah. I was gonna bring his name.
I was gonna try to come up with some bullshit against the Niners, but I can't do it for Breida.
and people are picking him up fast, and some people were like, "Don't do it. You don't want that. You don't want a part of that."
I was thoroughly impressed with that Vikings defense too. So if Eckler don't play, I'd probably stay away from Josh Kelly, even though I stuck up for him last week.
What about Dalvin Cook?
I haven't seen you do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I need to see your value before I can start playing you.
Same thing with Zeke.
Oh, he's fucking 2 weeks away from being off that team. I promise you.
Another interesting one. What about Tyler Algier?
I think you can play him, yeah. They said they're splitting the snaps between him and Bijan.
They did say they want.
That's not true. Like, y'all misinterpret that. You're taking half of the half of the rushing snaps.
Yeah.
So when you factor in how much Bijan gets the ball, it's more like 70-30.
Yeah.
Which means Algier's value comes down.
But if Algier is getting the 30% in the red zone.
But you're not. Why the fuck would I put Algier in the red zone if I got a Bijan?
Because Algier got 2 rushing touchdowns week 1 because they put him in the red zone.
But that just doesn't make sense. I'm not going to continue to do that. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you kind of, if that's what you have,
like
Algier
has some like a value between, like, to me, I value Algier somewhere between a Jalen Warren and a Tank Bigsby.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're a little bit better than Bigsby, but I don't think you're as good of a backup as Jalen Warren.
Yeah. But I'm talking about, like, in my league, it's 14 teams. So, like, it was a keeper. Hardly anybody has any good running backs at all. If that's the best you got for, a backup running back or second running back. Yeah.
Like, I could see if you had, like, if you were a Nick Chubb owner or you were an Austin Eckler owner, Barkley owner, Aaron Jones, you don't know yet. Like,
even if you got Kareem Hunt, I don't know if I'd play him this week.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why I've been telling everybody give it 2 weeks to see what happens.
Because most people I see with Tyler Algier and a few of these others we named, those are their 3rd, 4th running backs. But if I went high on Alexander Madison or Damian Pierce, I'm definitely keeping you off my bench and I'm putting one of these other guys that has a better production a value at it. And I mean, I'm just gonna roll with that. Don't go with projections, people, because they're always going to give the projections to the top guys, and then you're going to be mad whenever they don't do it.
Like fucking any Jets running back.
Facts.
Yeah.
Well, all right, fantasy football people, like, subscribe if you made it to this point. Comment down below what running backs you think we missed out on. Which ones we got wrong, which ones we got right. If you have any questions, drop them down below. We got you covered. Make sure you join us live every Sunday at 8 in the morning Central Time. We got you covered on all roster information, injuries, weathers, all types of updates. We got you for IDP. We got you for running backs, quarterbacks, everything in between. That being said, we are out of here, people. Later.
Peace.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.